Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am so excited to give you a recap of the Dragon Gauntlet. Originally, I wanted to do a vlog and then I got no footage, no footage. It just so much happened and it was such a fast experience. I felt like it went by way too fast and I'm still having a bit of like a hangover, not a literal one, but just like an experience hangover. You know how when you get a book hangover? I mean, kind of how we all felt after we finished Iron Flame. Yeah, that's kind of how it feels like after the Dragon Gauntlet. I had the best time. First off, I want to tell you guys a little bit about what the Dragon Gauntlet is if you're not familiar, because a lot of people don't know what it is. The Dragon Gauntlet was created by a company called A Court of Rain and Revelry, and they are a Michigan-based company, and they completely came up with this experience all by themselves based around the Fourth Wing Iron Flame, aka the Empyrean series books. And essentially what they wanted to do was bring the Fourth Wing books to life and give you an experience like none other. And all I can say is, oh my gosh, Rain and Revelry outdid themselves. I had no idea what to expect, and they exceeded every expectation I could have ever had. So this event took place at Boyne Mountain in Michigan, which made me so happy because there's really not a lot of bookish events like this in Michigan. And actually, Rain and Revelry are doing a Starfall Ball in Michigan next year, which I'll touch on that more in a little bit. So this event had like two portions of it on Saturday. The first portion was in the morning. They were going to walk across the parapet, aka the Sky Bridge, and then after that their squads were going to have to participate in different obstacles. That includes wit, that includes strategy, and there are some like side quest things that they got to do for extra points. I did not participate in any of that. That was something that like you had to pay for, and I was just vending at this event. But oh, the FOMO was real now. After seeing the photos of all of the squads doing all these obstacles and activities, I definitely want to be able to participate next time if they have another one in the future. Then the second part was the Dragon Gauntlet Ball, which this ball is just like kind of like what you hear about the Starfall balls or the different fantasy balls. You dress the nines. You can either follow the theme of like Fourth Wing, there's like a lot of black, or you can, you know, just dress up and have a good time. Also, before the dancing and partying started, they had an award ceremony and a giveaway. The award ceremony included, you know, cosplaying, who had like the best outfit, who had the best team, aka the Iron Squad, and just a bunch of different fun awards you could win. Also, there was a giveaway that us vendors could donate an item to give away, and I was able to donate one of my Dragon Rider inspired tumblers that had hand placed dragon scales on it. And so all of this happened on Saturday. However, Rain and Revelry outdid themselves and decided that before any of this stuff was going to take place, they were going to get the whole town of Boyne City, Michigan to help participate in these dragon festivities. They decided to have a free podcast at Veterans Park with the Fantasy Fangirls podcast. And if you follow Lexi and Nicole, you know what a treat that truly is. So Friday night, they had a live podcast with no spoilers, but kind of to just get you ready for everything Fourth Wing and Empyrean series. and to prepare the cadets for what they were going to face with the trials and events the next morning. After the podcast, they then had a meet and greet with Lexi and Nicole. And then after the meet and greet, you were welcome to partake in all the festivities that were happening in Boyne City. This included a bunch of local stores and businesses having the Empyrean series inspired drinks, things for sale. There was a book cart that you could get for buy books. People were performing in the park. There was music everywhere. It was incredible. So this was all free, like you could do on Friday, which I thought was so amazing. And that's just like a little bit of what the event was. So now I'm going to get into everything that I experienced in as much of chronological order as I can. So originally, one of my sister-in-laws were going to come with me and help me vend at this event. I was selected as a vendor quite a few months ago, and I didn't know what to expect. I have never been a vendor at anything like this, nor have I really gotten too far out of my area. So I was not only traveling for this event, which thankfully was about 3 hours, but I was also going to be doing it with one of my sister-in-laws. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it. My husband Matt was able to take off Saturday, and we knew for sure that we were going to be able to go up for the ball, and because that's where I was vending at, was at the ball. But I was really hoping we'd be able to go to see Fantasy Fangirls and then participate in like the town activities. However, Matt was supposed to work on Friday. We found out Friday morning that he got a rain day. He does asphalt on the road crew. So he found out that he had a rain day and work was canceled. So he had 2 days off. Well, technically 3 because he gets Sundays off. And we were able to leave to go and make it for the podcast. So that's kind of where I'm starting off. We were packing up. I tried to make my own outfit for the event, but unfortunately, if you guys followed me on my stories, that didn't work out. I didn't have time. I didn't like how everything that came together. So I ended up just finding stuff that I had. There was a lot of things I still needed to finish because, oh my gosh, the amount of time I spent on things but still had more stuff to do was crazy. So I was packing everything up to make sure that I had for my vendor stuff, to DIY some stuff, and to travel up north. So my aunt and cousin have a cabin up in the area, and thankfully they were gracious enough to let us stay there at the cabin instead of having to get a hotel. Hotels in the area are really expensive unless you drive farther out of the area, and so neither were really like a great option. And so when I asked my aunt and cousin if I could stay at the cabin, it really meant a lot to me. So Friday afternoon, Matt and I headed up to northern Michigan. It is such a nostalgic thing. Matt and I both spent our summers up in northern Michigan in various locations. I think as a Michigander, a lot of us who live in like the middle to lower half of the lower peninsula, that is what you do. You go up north in the summer. And now that Matt works all summer, it's really rare when we do get to go up north. So it was extra special that he got a rain date and we got to go up. And traffic was already chaotic and added on extra time, unfortunately, even though we left during Friday afternoon. So by the time we got to the cabin, unloaded some stuff, made sure like everything was hunky-dory. We were about 15 minutes late to the Fantasy Fangirl podcast, but it was a-okay. I was content that we were just there. So I didn't really get very good photos because we were farther in the back, but it was so much fun. There were so many people dressed up in their best riding leathers, and I was kind of bummed that I wasn't able to get anything together in time to dress up, so I'll definitely have to cosplay a dragon rider next time because everybody looked so good. Live podcast was great. They were so much fun, especially without having to do any spoilers and keeping it PG because it was in a park where anyone could come up and listen. Lexi and Nicole were so great. And then they did the meet and greet, which the line was really long, and they said that the meet and greet was only going to be 30 minutes, and thankfully they were sweet enough to stay longer for everybody that was there. And Matt and I, we are talkers when we're in line, whether we're at concerts or at Disney. We like chatting with people around us, and the girl and guy next to us were from Minnesota. I can't believe they drove all the way from Minnesota to come to the event. And it was nice getting to meet them and chat with them. She is a writer, and she actually made a quiz on Reddit to tell you like what type of dragon would choose you based on your characteristics. I haven't found the link yet, but I need to definitely search it because I love that kind of stuff. And then finally we got to meet Lexi and Nicole. And when I say that they are some of the sweetest, genuine, most like detail-oriented people, like I mean it. Every person that went up to them, they made them feel like $1,000,000. Literally, they were very like huggy, which I love. I'm a hugger, and so getting to like hug them and meet them, they instantly zoned in on my shirt. Because I didn't really have a black shirt or any like riding cosplay, I decided to wear my Taylor Swift Long Live shirt, which has a castle and dragons. And they're like, is this Harry Potter? I'm like, it's Taylor Swift. They're like, oh my gosh, just as amazing. And they were so sweet. They loved my earrings. I wore these earrings that I made, my Terran and Andarna earrings. Also, while we were waiting in line, Matt was like, do you want me to get your Iron Flame book? Because I had brought for display to kind of show with my book sleeves that Iron Flame fits in my hardcover book sleeves. So I had them sign my book, and it's just so special because Fourth Wing started their podcast for them. That's how they got going, was doing deep dives and discussions all about this series. So having them sign my holiday edition was just extra special. After we met Lexi and Nicole, we decided to walk around downtown Boyne City. We walked through the park, along the water. It's such a gorgeous, cute little town. And when I say there was a different band at every corner playing music, there was a band at every corner playing music. It was surreal. There were people breathing fire out in the park and performing different arts. It was just incredible. It was so much fun. We really wanted to go to Muskrat Distillery. That is the place that was hosting the cosplay costume contest. That was the place that had very specific inspired drinks, and Matt and I had to get inspired drinks. The whole menu was so good. I ended up getting the sage, which had real sage in it, and Matt ended up getting the classified signet. And so we got to-go cups because it was kind of chaotic. And as we were ordering, Lexi and Nicole came in. A lot of the cosplayers were all in there getting drinks and hanging out for the cosplay contest. But Matt and I, we knew that we were going to have like a busy night and a busy day the next day, finishing up some of the stuff I needed to. So we just walked around town a little bit and saw everything we wanted to see and just had like a really nice like night together. I was getting really nervous about, how everything was going to go since this was my first time doing anything. But yeah, we had a really nice night, and so we headed back to the cabin. We originally thought that we'd be alone at the cabin, but my cousin and her husband and her 3 kids ended up coming up too, which was really nice. So we got some family time. So I shared on my Instagram stories a little bit about my aunt and uncle's cabin, but I kind of wanted to go into detail a little bit more on here. My aunt and uncle's cabin was like the hot spot for my mom's side of the family. It was a really small cabin that was on lakefront property. It's on a pretty small lake, but to us it was like heaven. The whole family, including my aunts and uncles, my grandma and papa, and all of us cousins, all of the pets, the dogs, everybody would come up to their cabin, and we would go jet skiing, tubing, fishing, canoeing. We'd play board games and watch movies, and we would go into town and go shopping. It was really the highlight of my summer for so many years. And then we lost my cousin, who was my aunt and uncle's son, when I was in middle school. And after that, it was really hard for the family to go back up there because the boys would ride dirt bikes, us girls would do craft projects. When I say like that was one of my favorite places in the world, like that was one of the favorite places on earth. It just was spectacular. Once my cousin passed, it was really hard for a lot of us to go up there, and it was especially hard on my uncle. In the years that I ended up going by, my uncle really wanted to expand the cabin because it was a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom cabin, and we would sleep like air mattress to air mattress. There just wasn't a whole lot of space. He then added on and built up the cabin to be a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom cabin. It was crazy. He added a garage and a game room, a basement, so much stuff. And his goal then, once his daughter had like gotten married and had kids, was to have the family back up there and spend more time together. And we did a couple times. We had a couple family like 4th of July trips that were really fun, but ultimately my uncle just wanted it to be for the family, but it was still hard because when you're up there, you would feel my cousin and miss him so much. Then almost this time last year, my uncle passed away. So going up to the cabin was a little bit bittersweet. I have all of these amazing memories with my uncle and my cousin, but it definitely was an emotional time for me too. But I was really thankful that my cousin was there and her family, and getting to spend time with them and having some of that, normalcy of family time there. So we ended up hanging out with them, staying up and chit-chatting, and then we went to bed. Saturday comes and it actually rained back at home, so Matt technically didn't miss any work, which to me just made me feel good that he wasn't like missing out on money he could have gotten. It made me pretty happy that it was like everything just worked out perfectly. However, the rain meant that we couldn't go out on the lake. That was the only downfall to the whole thing. And I know it probably made for a wet event for everyone that went to the morning activities of the Gauntlet. But the day of the Dragon Gauntlet, when all the cadets were going through obstacles and different trials, Matt and I were working on stuff for my business. There's nothing like waiting last minute on my stuff. I just had to cut out price tags and mark prices on tumblers. Also, I really wanted to make a chain belt for my dress to just kind of level it up, and I did, and I absolutely loved it. Meanwhile, my cousin has a 5-year-old, and she was helping us, and I was crafting with her. She's so sweet. I love her so much. And we just had a good time just playing with her while working on stuff. And then we got ready. We had to be there at 4:30 for setup, and we only had an hour to set up, which I was really nervous had I had to do it myself. So I was really thankful Matt was there. Matt is also so fast at moving stuff, setting stuff up, taking stuff down. So I was very thankful he was with me. It was about a 25-minute drive, so it felt like we had to be there pretty early. By the time we got ready and dressed and then drove there and found out where we were supposed to be, So going into it, I didn't know where we were actually going to be set up at. I kind of felt like we were going to be out in the hallway or the lobby, and then, you know, inside the ballroom would have been where all the activities were. But actually, we were in the ballroom and we got to watch everything. They had Detroit performers doing hula hoops and lyra and people DJing. We ended up being in the front corner, which was kind of away from a lot of things, but we could see everything, which was really cool. Like I said, we had an hour to set up and then they dimmed the lights, and then we had about half an hour before people started coming in. From 6 to about 7, the bar opened up. Oh yeah, it was an open bar, and they had hors d'oeuvres, but not like a full meal. So people could snack on stuff while they were drinking. So people were able to come in, get drinks, get hors d'oeuvres, and go shopping first until the award ceremony happened. And I did not expect at all the amount of people that were gonna come and just raid all of the vendors. It was truly like the most magical thing, seeing like people flock to come see our stuff. One of the first girls that came up before things really got busy was looking through all of my tumblers, and she made the comment of, "Oh my gosh, your tumblers are so amazing. You're definitely gonna sell out." And to me, like, that meant a lot that she said that, just as like an artist being like, you know, told that they like your stuff. But when she said that I was gonna sell out, I didn't really expect it, because if you know, in the crafting world, tumblers have been around for a while, and everybody has like 500 million tumblers. That's the number one thing I hear at almost all my events. I still sell tumblers. I love making tumblers. I love selling like functional art. So I still make them because I like making them, but I don't normally sell a ton. So when she said that I was going to sell out, I just thought that was a really sweet gesture, but I didn't believe it. Well, I ended up selling all but 5 tumblers, and I had made 11 brand new ones, plus took some other ones I have previously made, which was crazy to me. Honestly, I could have cried at how happy I was. People were just so sweet. So they had the time to shop in the beginning, and then the award ceremony happened, and then the giveaway. And then it was time for dancing. At first, like, people, you know how like everyone's kind of shy at first. The drinks hadn't quite kicked in yet. They weren't dancing just yet. But people were still coming, looking at our vendors' tables. It was hard because you couldn't really like see. It was dimly lit, but shout out to Jess at 99 Art Designs for recommending to put fairy lights in jars to help light up my table. It definitely helped. Also, Rain and Revelry provided us with these little lights, and we would actually just give it to people to use as like a flashlight to look at stuff, and it made our booth even more interactive. It was kind of crazy. Like, people were like getting their faces this far away from my products to like look at everything. It was so cool. I loved it. And the thing I love about Book Girlies is y'all love details. Your attention to detail and wanting to know the process of how I made stuff was truly so rewarding. So many times people are like, "Oh yeah, you handmade that." No, people were asking me like, "Oh, how did you do that?" And when I told them that like I dried flowers from my garden and then I put them in bookmarks and then I hand painted a lot of the tumblers, people were like enthralled with it, and it made me feel so special. One of the coolest experiences I had as well was the vendor next to me. Her name's Ashley, Muse Creations. She was so sweet. She has an X tool. All of my laser friends will know what that is. And she was doing custom engraved stuff right there at the event, which was so cool. Her friend really loved one of my tumblers, and she's like, "If it's still there by the end of the night, I'm gonna buy it." Well, when her friend was gone, she came up and she's like, I want to get that tumbler for her. And so she surprised her with it, but didn't tell her till like the whole event was done. And it was so funny because her friend came up and was like, oh no, it sold. She's like, I knew it was going to sell, but I followed you on Etsy, so it's okay. And so I don't know how any of that played out, but I'm sure her friend was ecstatic when she ended up getting it for her, like getting it as a gift. Also, one of the really cool experiences I had was the girl that ended up winning my tumbler in the giveaway came up and said thank you and how much she loved it. And that really meant a lot to me because she didn't have to do that. And she came with her friends, and her friends also told me how much they loved it and then bought stuff from me. Like, I don't know why that's making me tear up, but seriously, that's so rewarding. And I don't think people understand like how much that means to a small artist and a small business. Like, that truly meant so much. And the fact that someone loved it that much, I was just so happy. One thing that I think really made the night was the DJ was iconic. He was so good. The songs he played were amazing. It was a mix of, our millennial like pop music with some newer music. It was so good. And once people started dancing, people started dancing. It was crazy. After like the first hour of dancing, people started slowing down at the vendor booths, which was kind of perfect because we were still at our booth getting to see everything, and Matt and I were singing and dancing and having a great time like at our booth. Which, how many times you get to be a vendor and you get to like dance and sing and like party while working your booth? Now, we were not drinking anything. Also, at the other end of the ballroom, they had meet and greets where you could get pictures with Lexi and Nicole again, and you could get pictures. They also had Tyler James there, who is one of my favorite cosplayers on TikTok. If you know, you know. And they had a bunch of other cosplayers there who were dressed up, and you could get pictures with everyone in their fancy formal attire. I had made Matt's tie out of dragon scale fabric, and he got so many compliments. And actually, I had a matching book sleeve with the same fabric, and that one completely sold out. People loved that. I also got so many compliments on this tiara. People asked me if I made it. I did not. I got it from TikTok shop. But I will 110% wear this as much as I can. I honestly can't believe I wasn't wearing it this whole time because I felt so powerful. I felt I don't know. I am such an introvert, and I really just felt at home at this event. It was so surreal. Since I wasn't able to make my outfit, I decided that I was going to wear this navy blue dress that I got for my engagement pictures way back in 2019 and add my little gold belt, add my tiara, and I was Sigale and Matt was Taryn. I just thought it was going to be perfect. Like, come on. Now, I did not get pictures with Lexi and Nicole again. I didn't get to see them again. They were so busy, and then they were dancing. I didn't get to meet Tyler James, but it's okay because I seriously had the best time. One of my favorite moments too was they played Hot to Go by Chapel Roan. If you know, you know. And I had such a proud wife moment because Matt was doing the dance. He's going to be so mad I said that, but Matt knows Chapel Roan. He loves Chapel Roan. We just had such a good time. They also had professional photographers and videographers who not only were photographing and videoing everybody having like a good time and dancing and the awards, they were also videoing us and taking photos of us while we were selling our products. And I cannot tell you how much that made me feel like a superstar. Like, it was just such a surreal feeling. And it really just was like validation that I haven't had in a while. And if you guys know, I've done a couple vendor events lately, and they just have been misses, which that's just how these things go. But getting to do an event that was a ticket only, like full on experience was so incredible. I just seriously, it was heaven. It was heaven. When it was all said and done, we started packing everything up. There was an after party at the actual bar at Boyne Mountain, but Matt and I are like, no, we don't need to do that. We don't need to drink. And we ended up just going back to the cabin and hanging out with my cousin. And I just felt like everything was timed out so perfectly. It wasn't like the dancing was too long or anything was too long or too short. I thought it just was planned out so perfectly. I didn't really get to chat too much with the Rain and Revelry crew, but I just want to say thank you. If they happen to be watching this, you guys did an extraordinary, spectacular, incredible, fabulous, iconic job. I cannot, I can only use all of the amazing adjectives to describe how great they did at looking at every detail of this event. I want to go back and experience this 10 times over again. Like, I need to do one of these events at least once a year, if not twice a year. My whole personality wants to be for these events because it was truly amazing experience. Getting to watch people just be so carefree and have so much fun, dress up and celebrate something they love, I think is truly spectacular. I haven't felt this way since I went to the Eras tour, and that's kind of how it felt. It felt like that level of community, but at this event. And there were guys there too. Like, it wasn't just girls. There were guys celebrating and dancing and having a great time. And I just loved it. I loved how much everybody loves the Empyrean series so much. Now, some of you also saw that Rain and Revelry are hosting a Starfall Ball, and I did apply to be a vendor. They are doing a 2-day event for the Starfall Ball, and the 1 day is the Rainbow Market, and they're going to have all the vendors the first day, and then the second day is the ball. The tickets to that Starfall Ball sold out in a couple of hours. Literally 2 days prior, I found out that the event even existed, so I wasn't expecting it to sell out. I did not get tickets, so that's why I'm like, I'm going to apply. I'm going to try to do this. A lot of big cosplayers like Tyler James are going to be at the Starfall Ball too. And all I can ask is for all of your prayers, good vibes, best wishes on the chance of me getting selected for that event. They only picked 25, and they said they do have more applicants than 25, so they'll have to make a cut on what is going to be best for the event. And I hope all the vendors that applied the best of luck. The girl next to me, Ashley, said that she applied too, and we're like, I hope we both make it. We hope we get to see each other next year, because that's happening next July in Charlevoix. And oh my gosh, that would be a dream come true too. But if it doesn't happen, it wasn't meant to be. I just hope Rain and Revelry keeps doing more events like this. People are begging them to do another Dragon Gauntlet, so I hope they do. And if they do, I really hope that you guys can come and join and get tickets and experience it, because I need my book besties to come up and we can have the time of our lives. I'm so happy. I have been dealing with trying to find myself, trying to find where I fit in, and it just I felt so at home with this whole event. And Matt also had such a great time, which I knew that he was gonna like it, but he loved it so much too. Matt loves the Empyrean series. Matt loves the ACOTAR series. I just feel like this is something that like we get to do that's so cool and rare, and I hope it just continues. Thank you guys so much for listening to me chatter and talk. If you have any more questions or you want to know more about this event, please leave a comment and let me know. I truly appreciate all the support that you guys have given me and the courage that you have given me to get out of my comfort zone and do more things like this. So I hope to see you guys here next time. Have a great day. Bye.